The life-changing decision that made me a millionaire. This video was going to be a little bit different. I really wanted to start making a video that were a little bit different. I want to start telling you guys the truth, showing you not just my end results, but telling you my real story and showing you exactly how you did it and also how you can do it too. Because there's so many people out here on social media and Instagram millionaires and all this other stuff, and people aren't really getting the true story on what it takes and what it really looks like to live a millionaire life. It's not as difficult as all these people are telling you. It's not all about grinding all the time or working all the time or crushing it with work. It's really about changing your mindset and doing things a little bit differently. So that's what this video was going to be about, because that was the life-changing decision that made me a millionaire.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, or you need to do it better, well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Many of you guys already know, I started off as a working mom. I used to have a job. In fact, I worked and I got a six-figure job. When I quit to do real estate, I literally quit a job where I was getting paid $225,000 a year. But that's not the important part, because the bottom line is, even when I was making that money, I wasn't rich. The truth of the matter is, I was kind of poor. I worked all the time, I traveled all the time, my kids barely saw me, I didn't own my time, I worked for someone else, and I had also been laid off many, many times. There wasn't like more job security as I climbed the corporate ladder. Now when you look at my life, I have hundreds of rental properties, luxury cars, money in the bank, I own my time, I do what I want, I have multiple streams of income. But it was the decision that I made that I'm going to talk to you guys about that really changed everything for me. It was a decision that I made that I wanted to be a millionaire. Most people are not a millionaire because they never think that they could be a millionaire, and they sure as heck aren't trying to be a millionaire. When I say a millionaire, I mean I wanted to make $1 million a year. And yeah, I know that sounds like a lot of money. And I remember when I first said it, I didn't believe it was true. I never in a million years thought that I could make $1 million a year. But it wasn't until I made the decision to be a millionaire that I ever became one. Because it doesn't start with making $1 million a year when you become a millionaire. It starts with the decision to become a millionaire and make $1 million a year that you become it. If you don't make a decision, if you don't say, this is what I'm doing, and start working towards it, you're never going to be a millionaire. If you just keep talking about it or thinking about it and never actually start working towards it, then how are you ever going to be a millionaire? Well, you gotta start with the decision. Everybody tells you, Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, Jeff Bezos, every Warren Buffett, every rich person, every guru tells you, you gotta start changing your life, and that starts with a decision. So when I said, okay, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I was like, okay, I need to think about this. What does that mean? I'm saying this and I'm writing it down, but how am I really gonna do it? So here's how I did it. Let me stop for a second and tell you. I started by making a decision, and I started writing it down every single day. I broke it down. I said, all right, $1 million a year is $83,333.33 a month. Boy, was I overwhelmed when I heard that number. But then I started breaking it down, like, okay, how could I get to $83,000 a month? How many flips did I have to do? How many deals did I need? How many properties did I need? How much money could I make in each thing that I was doing? And so what I did was I started breaking it down. Now, of course, I didn't just go from $0 to $83,000 a month. First, I got to $10,000. Then once I got to $10,000, I knew how to make $10,000 a month, so I could easily go to $20,000, then $40,000, and then I went to $100,000. I actually never have made $80,000 in a month. I literally went from like $50-something thousand a month to $108,000 a month, and I haven't looked back since. Because the bottom line is, I made a decision. I said, this is what I'm doing. I broke it down and I started working towards it. So start making decisions about how you're gonna become a millionaire, how you're gonna make this money, and then start working towards it. If you need help with that, I've created a complete training, Noelle's free training, and I even have a free book, Noelle's free book. You can start reading and educating yourself on some of the things that I did and start modeling success. I've had mentors, I've paid for mentors, and I followed successful people. I don't listen to broke people, I don't listen to people that are on my level, I listen to people in positions that I want to be in. I find mentors that are making millions, now I found mentors that are making billions, and that's what I do. Don't listen to broke people, stay positive, and start making a decision that you can do it because you can. This is Noelle, to your success.